We're here from Arrowace.
I'm Bastet. I'll be running your operation to investigate the unusual occurrences that have been happening everywhere recently.
Stay out of Antiborough. Stuck in time loop.
I guess it's a ghost plumbing situation.
Bastet has got us out of a lot of problems, but I don't think she can get us out of this one.
It wasn't all the bodies. There were 2 bodies.
Everyone else just got disappeared.
I went missing for a while and I lost my brother. I don't know where he is.
Oh, that's my mother. Oh dear.
It's the same mother that you keep describing as tyrannical and horrible.
Have to practice ritual fight with brother.
Ellie, can I make an insight check of myself but in real life?
Welcome to Deck of Many Aces, an actual play podcast made by actual asexuals.
Wow.
I'm strategically muting my bwams so that they don't come through on my microphone.
Why?
I nearly peeked there.
Strategic blams.
Strategic muting. We are a group of people who identify as somewhere on the aromantic and or asexual spectrum, playing 5th edition D&D with a twist. Every character's past, present and future is based on a card drawn from the deck of many things.
When are you going to tell us?
Which we are so tantalizingly close to finding out. I am Ellie, I use they them pronouns, and I will be your DM today. Your demisexual, I've said megalodon before, haven't
Absolutely.
I?
Yeah, definitely.
Moose.
You've done that one as well,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Moose spelt the other
Mice?
way, like the dessert.
Mesopotamia. How about Mesopotamia?
That's actually what I was thinking of. I was actually thinking of hair moose.
Yeah.
Same spelling.
Delicious, delicious hair moose.
There you go.
Yeah, that's me. Who have I got with me?
It's me, Am, getting it in just under the wire and joining everyone else. I use any and all pronouns, and I play Tohsya Atherdale, the party battlemaster fighter and wild magic barbarian, who has 67 hit points.
Oh, good God.
I hate you so
I think we're going
much.
to cancel the podcast then.
That's it. No finale for you. Am ruined
You're
it.
too old for this.
Am in real life dies.
No one knows what I did, because I did a gesture, and this is an audio format.
Everyone knows what you did, Am. We don't have to tell them. Hello, I am Chloe, or Chloe. I use she, they pronouns, and I am playing Raina, the Tabaxi Bard and Rogue, who is having a really good time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Everything is fine. This is the best day of Raina's life.
Hey, it could be.
Yeah, you know what? It hasn't ended yet. Maybe.
Yeah. We've still got time.
All the bad things are just karma because something really, really good is about to happen.
Also, we're in a time vortex, so effectively it's every day of Raina's life.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Or maybe it'll just keep getting worse from here. So this is the peak.
Thank you.
I hate that.
Don't say that. No. I'm ready to use the she, her pronouns.
I'm Eiriol, and I'm playing Delphi the Growfolk Warlock. I use she, they pronouns, and Delphi uses she, her pronouns. We're in it.
Oh boy, are we in it?
The time vortex, we're in it.
Yeah.
That is it, yep.
Yeah. I don't know what to say.
We just walked in.
So many things are happening right now. It's been a while since we last recorded, so I am been waiting a long time to find out what's going to happen next.
When was the last time we recorded?
It wasn't that long ago.
A while ago.
500 years ago.
About a month ago.
Yeah, because I saw Chloe, last RDVD recording was before we did the last time recording.
Cool.
Oh.
It was a month ago. I have no concept of time.
No. Good thing you're in the time vortex.
As you should.
Yeah. Before we get any further, hi, I'm Katie. I play Morgan. Morgan is a wizard of time, so she'd supposedly know what's going on. She didn't. She didn't know.
She didn't.
She didn't.
For which I mean that I don't know.
Yeah, but everyone else doesn't need to know that.
Fake it till you make it, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely. What happened last time?
You were mean. You were mean.
Was I?
You were a mean little meanie.
More
did I
trying,
do?
failing attempts to remove Seth from the time vortex.
Yes.
Ellie wouldn't let us save Seth because they're mean.
You don't know that.
No, we know you're mean.
You said he's dead. You said it categorically.
Yeah.
But who knows? We're in a time vortex, so like anything can happen, right?
Sure. Definitely.
But yes, Katie's right. Trying and failing to get Seth out of the time vortex, trying and failing to get the time sprite in the time vortex, and then Morgan cast Tether Essence on the time sprite and the time vortex, and that's it. We don't know what's going on any more than we did at the start.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah. I reckon that is a good place to jump right in. So, Morgan, you are casting Tether Essence. What does that look like between the time vortex and the little speck of light that Delphi has been holding?
Have I read this spell out? I can't remember if I've read this spell out.
I don't know if you have. Read it again, just in case.
2 creatures you can see within range must make a con save with disadvantage if they are close to each other, within 30 feet. Are they within 30 feet of each other?
Yes.
Yep, so if either of them succeeds, it has no effect. But if they both fail, then they're magically linked for the duration. Damage done to one is dealt to the other. One of them gets hit point restored, the other gets restored. Da. So yeah, we're basically magically linking the essences. It's more of a vibes thing than an actual mechanical thing at this point. We're on vibes mode.
More of a vibes thing.
That's this whole fight.
Yeah.
It's like quantum entanglement though, basically.
The little time sprite is going to choose to fail. I'm going to just roll a con save for the time vortex.
Yep, it's got disadvantage.
And that is a 5. So it does not succeed. So the time vortex sweeps up the speck of light, which spins round and round, and it sort of looks like a, you know when you take photos but with, I wish I had the words for this, god damn it, you know when you take a photo but you leave the exposure on and you're like waving around a bunch like a light, and you can make like lines with the light?
A long exposure
Yes.
photograph.
That's the one. You know when you take a prolonged exposure photograph? You can just cut out all of the other stuff I said before, Chloe.
I'm leaving it in.
So it becomes a sweeping line of light, and then the vortex slows and the little dots of light begin to multiply. There's lots and lots and lots of them, and the tendrils that are holding on to Seth begin to retract.
Oh, it worked.
And at the same time, Seth drops to the floor.
No, he doesn't, because
Oh,
I'm
no.
right there and I catch him.
I think unless anyone has anything specific initiative-wise that they want to do, it might be worth coming out of initiative at that point.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So, Raina, you're holding Seth, and obviously you're not a medic, but you have healing magic, and you know that any kind of healing magic that you have, it's too late for Seth.
I've already been doing it, so yeah.
Yeah. You know that there are spells that you could use, Revivify, you know, that kind of thing. There's a reincarnation spell as well, right?
Yeah. None of them bad spells, though.
But none of them are bard spells, and no one in your group has those spells. You look down at Seth, and you can see that he has fully aged at this point, so he is an old man. It's abstractly a bit fascinating to see him as an old man, because obviously you only knew him as a boy, and his face, it has a sort of youthful energy somehow, but there are lines that you don't recognise, and there's old scars and pockmarks that have faded that are new to you. So he is limp in your arms, but the time magic that is affecting this plane is still sort of influencing everything around you. So you can hear that his heart has stopped, but you can kind of see superimposed on him like a hologram almost. You can see his eyes are open, looking up at you, and he says, Raina, it's so good to see you.
Oh, Seth,
You found me.
you're here. Yeah. I came, I promised. I did. Oh,
Thank you.
I'm sorry we couldn't come earlier.
It's okay. It's all right. You did the best you could, and it's better now. I don't have to be part of whatever that was anymore.
It don't hurt no more, right?
No.
Good.
There's so much I wouldn't like to tell you about. I've seen so many places and met so many people. And you, what have you been up to? Where have you been, Raina?
Honestly, I still don't think I know. But I would have rather been with you.
I've always carried your absence with me. I've never stopped missing you, Raina.
I wish I'd had enough time to miss you too. But it doesn't seem to be the way fate shakes things out, right?
No. But you know what? I'm an old man anyway. I don't know. Obviously, I never thought this would happen, but I never thought I'd see you again. And I'm so glad that I got the chance.
And you live a good life, right? That's what Captain Sterling said. So that's the most important thing.
Lots of adventures. And
wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
You got more adventures ahead of you.
Oh, I don't know if I want more adventures. It's been a long time.
Well, there's different kinds of adventures, isn't there?
Yeah, I guess so. I think right now what I'd like more than anything is to rest.
Yeah, you've earned it. You rest good now, you right?
I love you.
I love you more.
As you say this, Seth, it's almost like he was kind of waiting for your blessing, and he closes his eyes and the hologram version of him dissipates, and you're just left with his body.
I think Raina had been keeping it together to that point for Seth, and that's the point where she can let it go, and she just breaks down, leaning over his body, keening and crying, and just not paying attention to anything else that's going on, as she's having her moment to let out everything that she's been holding on to since she first woke up on that beach.
Is there anything that any of you would like to do?
Unless I spontaneously develop the ability to cast Revivify, then don't think I can really actually do.
Delphi will just sit with them, next to them.
Morgan, your attention is drawn elsewhere for a moment. You're looking at what has replaced the time vortex.
Yeah.
The single shimmering light, like I said, has expanded to be hundreds of lights, and they surround what was the time vortex. Thin threads stretched between the points of light, holding the time magic inside like a net, but it seems kind of uncertain. It seems like it needs direction. What would you like to do?
The first thing my brain spits out is to punt it like a football, which isn't...
No!
It's bigger than a football now. It's like... So the time vortex was a massive creature, right? Which was 40 feet across, something like that. This is now... You could probably wrap your arms around it like it's maybe 4 to 6 foot across.
One of them big medicine balls.
Yeah.
Is it floating high?
It's floating, yeah. It's floating.
Just like at ground level?
Yeah.
I would like to approach it and cast Mage Hand, and then approach it with the Mage Hand and kind of wave and see if anything happens at it.
You're just waving.
Yeah, just kind of get close, see if it interacts in any way.
When you wave, it twinkles back at you,
Aww.
like certain lights sort of glow brighter as if it's attempting to communicate, I guess.
I say, hello.
It twinkles again.
I'm Morgan. I've been a wizard for many years.
This is my CV.
I have several advanced degrees and have developed a large amount of expertise in unusual timey-wimey situations.
It's like a job interview.
Well, she wants to get in on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Is there anything I can do for you?
As you kind of start talking to this essence, you feel something from you, maybe your magic, maybe the place where your magic comes from, is pulled towards the vortex in its new shape. You almost feel like a gravitational pull towards it. Do you try and fight that pull, or do you let it overwhelm you?
Yeah, I don't fight the gravity. It can pull me into its gravity well if it likes.
Cool, okay. You feel yourself being metaphysically and physically drawn towards it, and as you come into contact with this glowing net, you feel a rush, like standing under a waterfall, like holding onto a comet, a force pressing down on you, threatening to grind you into the floor. And you realise this is probably how Seth might have felt, but obviously you are not Seth. Could you roll me a d20 plus your Arcana, please?
Okay. I have great Arcana, so hopefully this is okay.
Is Morgan physically moving?
Yes.
Does it look like she's in pain?
I have a 23.
I would say no. Doesn't look like she's in pain.
Toz, like, gets stanced up, and then Morgan kind of just, like, relaxes a bit, and she just steps down. She's like, you got this. I'm not a wizard.
Okay. So, yeah, with a 23, your understanding of time magic is enough to shape the power that's coursing through you. And you realise that in this kind of moment, you have an opportunity and a chance to shape this reality however you see fit. And you can walk away unscathed and still remain mortal. Or you could stay in this kind of starry embrace and become something new entirely. So, what would you like to do?
While we were distracted, Morgan's like, yeah, I'm going to become God.
Oh, wow, this is a big character choice. I don't want to, like...
It is.
No, it's not that important.
It's just the fate of the world. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just reality.
Yeah.
Does it feel like there's information there, or does it feel like there's power there, or both?
It's kind of both. It's more like power than information. Like, it's almost like you've been kind of handed the reins of this metaphysical cart. You're gaining more knowledge just by being here. Like, that is obviously something that is happening, but it's not like... I don't think you're gaining any more knowledge than you have just by seeing the time vortex, you know? You can kind of peripherally feel the time magic coursing through you and the sense and scale of time. It's almost like an additional sense has been added to your faculties, right? And that does give you information, but you still have to figure out how to decode that information in order for it to be relevant, you know? Like when you smell something but you don't know what it is. You're like, huh. Huh.
I think that Morgan would potentially throw herself into something for better understanding, but I think the responsibility of being in charge isn't actually something she wants.
That makes sense.
She wants people to be impressed by her, but she doesn't want to actually be the boss.
That makes a lot of sense.
So I think she's going to back off a bit. She wants the boss to like her,
Yeah.
but...
You want to do a good job at time magic.
Yeah, I'm out of character thinking about warlock levels with the new god.
Fun.
That's also what I was thinking.
Or cleric levels, either one.
Toz would like to do something after Morgan has done with this encounter.
Okay, noted.
Yeah, I think she's going to back off a bit.
Cool. Yeah, okay. You take a step back and you feel kind of a sense of understanding, and you realise that whilst you have been gaining power and peripheral knowledge from this entity, it's been gaining something from you as well, and it now seems to have a sense of direction, a sense of purpose, and perhaps a vital context to how this universe works.
I think I accidentally just made the god autistic. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah!
There's that strong sense of justice we were talking about.
Actually, no, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Incredible. Yes, if you would like, obviously it doesn't make much difference to in-game play, but you now have access to the full gamut of wizard spells, so up to 9th level spells, and you gain 1 spell slot for 8th level, 1 spell slot for 9th.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. What, like the slots or re-getting what I had?
No, new slots. There's no point having 9th level spells if you can't cast them, is my point.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
So Toz is going to do an incredibly neurotypical thing and hand out some minifigures. So whilst this has been happening, she's been watching like Raina with Seth and Morgan interacting with this creature. The first thing she's going to do is super quickly take out a figurine of Collector that she got off her brother and like do her best to like whittle it into the shape of this bigger god, this sprite.
Cool. Okay.
And kind of like a kid passing a note in class, puts it in Morgan's hand, pats her on the back and goes, "Make nice."
Todd's just looking around like, there's things going on. Time for whittling.
Cool, amazing. It's almost like a star map, right? But in 3D. And the lines that make up constellations are almost sort of forming a net, and then the spaces between the stars that would normally be blank space is like where the kind of magic is being sort of held, if that makes sense. It's very conceptual.
Yeah, the collector figurine is more like a physical creature, so she's just kind of like getting rid of the limbs and the head, so it becomes almost like a little board, like a little rectangle.
Nice.
And then is like, rather than doing a 3D model, getting the image onto the little square of wood.
Yeah, gorgeous, lovely, fantastic. Morgan, is there anything you'd like to do with the new figurine?
Then I'll go over to Raina, but we'll do that in a bit.
Sure.
Not yet.
Okay, Toz, you heading over to see Raina.
Yeah, I am just going to take the inverse Praetor that I found in the Dragon Lair, and I am remembering what Raina and Seth were saying about sort of adventure.
Wasn't that the one you gave to Seamus and you kept Praetor one, or was it the other way around?
Yes, sorry, I'm taking the Praetor one, sorry, not the inverse one.
Right, yes, but yeah.
I'll get the Praetor one, and I'll put it on Seth's chest where Raina's hand is.
Oh.
Tohsya's gonna say, it's good luck when someone's going on a journey to give them Praetor to take care of them.
Thank you, Toz. I think you'll need that.
I very awkwardly pat Raina on the head with my trunk.
Raina has not calmed down, it isn't really the word, but quietened down a little bit. Now I think she's just kind of sniffling.
After you do a big cry and you're so tired.
Yes, exactly, yeah. Just like absentmindedly stroking Seth's head and sniffling to herself.
Is the portal the MSVO put us through still there? Or are we just like kind of in the middle of nowhere?
You're just kind of on the astral plane.
Alright!
Cool.
Well, first of all, you have someone who can cast teleport.
Yeah.
If you need to.
I don't know what her spell slot situation is right now.
You could ask, and it's fine, actually.
Yay!
Now that there's 9th level spells on the table.
You're all good to go.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, yeah, I will just kind of like pat Raina on the head with my trunk and say, if you ever want to talk about it, I can give you a hug if you would like.
I would really love a hug, yes please.
I'll lift Raina up and like, you know when you're like carrying like a little baby and it's just like head on your chest and arms and legs around your torso. Like very much that. I bounce Raina a little bit.
Oh.
Raina just kind of nuzzles into your shoulder.
Okay. Morgan, you kind of see the new time god, as yet unnamed, stretch out almost like a pancake, like wide and thin and roll itself out almost like a blanket above you. So you look up and it almost looks like the night sky. And all of you kind of begin to see constellation points on your bodies, like stars at all of your kind of joints, and then they're connected by thin shimmering beams, and you slowly fade away from this plane and you find yourselves at the Eternal Shards where you just left.
Is Seth's body with us?
It is, yeah. I'm not that cool.
Hi everyone, I'm here to let you know that if you are not subscribed to our Patreon, then you are missing out on some incredible bonus content. Starting at our lowest tier at just £3 a month, you can get access to our side quest episodes, plus get a shout out at the end of the podcast. And at higher tiers, you can get even more bonus content like talkback episodes, our cozy corner where the cast share their hobbies and interests. You might even get to sit at our monthly one-shot table and play TTRPG with us. Supporting us on Patreon is the biggest way that you can help us improve and grow the podcast, and we are incredibly grateful for all of our amazing patrons so far. You can also go to our supporter Acast link to give us a one-time donation. The link is at the bottom of the episode description. And if you don't have any spare cash right now, you can always join our Discord for free and chat about the podcast there. So what are you waiting for? Go to patreon.com/Deck of Many Aces and get exploring. Today's promo is for Side Character Quest. Side Character Quest is a fantasy podcast told as an anthology of tabletop adventures, each following a different character. Quests can be listened to individually, but combined, they tell the story of a peaceful, magical world with something dangerous bubbling just below the surface. You can find out more at sidecharacterquest.com. Roll the trailer!
This world is a peaceful one. Plains, mountains, swamps, pines, cicadas sing, rivers flow, magic thrums through the air, and all of it surrounded by a single massive wall, as ancient as history itself. So, not that ancient. Thanks to the loss, prehistoric ain't all that long ago. Oh well, life is good, and assuming you don't mind the looming threat of a mysterious skeletal society.
Side Character Quest. A D&D adventure, one player at a time.
Some worlds need a hero. This one? Might need a bit more than that.
We kind of fade out, we fade to black. It's been about a month since the events. You were all formally debriefed by Bastet, who awarded you all medals of honour on behalf of Arrow Ace. It seems that finally people know who you are. You don't have to flash the Arrow Ace badge to get into places. Some of you were hoping for further work from Arrow Ace, but unfortunately that didn't come into fruition. Arrow Ace was disbanded after the problem was solved. Funding is hard to come by and, well, adventuring is a gig economy. It has, however, left you with a pretty hefty paycheck and enough notoriety to turn your hand to pretty much anything you'd like. Would anyone like to go first?
I feel like we should do it in order, right?
Yeah, go.
Yeah?
I was going to say, I have something in mind, but it entirely depends on what
Fantastic.
happens with the Galactic Cult.
Okay, interesting.
Let's investigate that then.
Well, yeah, let's investigate that. What do you think that you have been up to?
So I think the first thing that Tohsya does is, depending on what happens with Morgan, and I have an idea of what direction I think it's going to go in, Tohsya will basically take Morgan with her when she's available to Guimaris and be like, we need to find and speak to these weird collector people, and you need to tell them that there's a new god of time.
Yeah, I'm up for that. I'm up for that.
Interesting. So the two of you arrive back to Guimaris, and you find things very different to how you last left things. So the first thing that you notice almost immediately is that as soon as you go to talk to your brother about this cult, he is extremely upset and essentially doesn't want to talk to you about it, but says, well, I don't have anything to do with them anymore, and that's no thanks to you.
What did I do this time? Why is it my fault?
Is it because Tos won the battle?
Well, for some reason, Kalacta won't speak to me anymore, and so now I'm not, the only one who can talk to them, so my powers are gone, and, well, my friends, or the people I thought were my friends, believe that Kalacta has abandoned us all because of unbelievers instating a rival god, which I can't imagine would be anyone but the four of you.
Well,
What are you talking about?
that's not quite.
Yeah, I'll kind of explain everything that, Galacta already died, and it was Seth that was talking to him.
Do you tell him that I killed them?
I'm not going to do that bit. I'm going to say that through a series of events that had nothing to do with me, which is true,
That's true.
Galacta died and was replaced with basically a young Tabaxi that was handling all that energy, is why he reached out to you, because I guess maybe he saw a lot of himself in you. I think he couldn't handle it. He was dying, and we were there to make sure that once he did die, which again, she was her hands up, no interaction, was trying to make sure he didn't die. We needed to make sure that something was there to take care of time, and if you are interested in getting those powers back, I'm sure they would be very happy to meet you.
Morgan produces a pamphlet.
God. Literally, haha. Okay, so Tor initially does not want anything to do with what you are talking about.
Okay.
Can you both roll me a persuasion check, and I'll take whoever's is highest as the sort of advantage.
Well, it's not going to be mine.
Do I have Tor's character sheet?
I have 3 luck points I have not used, and I will spam all of them if I need to. Let's do the first one.
Oh, I got a 17, actually.
That's pretty good. I have a -1 charisma still. Persuasion, you said? I'm going to spend a luck point to re-roll that one.
Cool. You might as well.
That's slightly better, but not a 17.
Okay. Well, his charisma is really not good either.
Yay!
Hilarious. So, with a decent amount of persuading, the two of you are able to impress upon him that it really wasn't your intention to get rid of the God of Time, and that wasn't what happened. And he sort of reluctantly starts reading the pamphlet from Morgan and promises to show it to people. Now that he's been shunned by the group that he was in, his kind of initial response is that he's going to go and he's going to show them the pamphlet. But I don't know if you say anything to him, Toz, about that, or if you kind of are happy to let him go.
I think if he kind of mentions that he's planning to see them about it, Toz is like, look, you're nearly an adult, you can do whatever you want. But I think that these people were clearly trying to get something out of you, and as the future leader of Gaimaris, maybe you should have slightly better insight than that.
Oh.
Well, I might not be the future leader.
No, you will be.
What do you mean?
You're gonna do better.
You can't.
You're gonna do a better job than me.
But no. Especially not now that I have no powers. Like, what?
Good.
And what would you do?
Firstly, no combination of church and state, please. I can be a very, very useful force for our leader that is technically acting as an independent annexation, and I kind of want to get him.
Right. Okay. Well, we still have time. We've still got time before the fight to formally discuss this, but I'm surprised. Last time we spoke, you said you promised you were coming back.
I am. I'm gonna stay here. I'll be whatever you need.
Okay. And you see a few days later that the pamphlet is still at his bedside and he hasn't distributed them. He doesn't mention the Cult of Collector
Cool.
again.
And then I see Tohsya just kind of basically acting in the capacity of a ranger for Gaimaris, unless the others wanted to do anything with her. Like, she'll stay in the city, but wander out, visit people, maybe meet up with the herd and Tamara, keep an eye on her uncle and make sure he's not getting his hooves too deep into my brother. And yeah, I'm picturing like an Aragorn kind of figure.
I'm now imagining Tohsya coming in from the rain and opening the huge double doors like Aragorn, and it's the hottest thing maybe I have ever imagined.
Someone draw that as fan art. If someone draws that as fan art, we'll give you 1 million podcast points, which are nothing. It can't be spent anywhere, but it means that we love you.
Yeah. We'll love you forever.
All right. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about as Toz, or are you happy to leave things there?
I'm happy to leave it there. I think someone who was so concerned about what other people thought about her for so long is just kind of bopping around doing her own thing, helping people when they need it, but staying close to her home nearby to help protect it. I think that's a kind of a perfect ending for her.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
And you know what? I hadn't decided she was going to throw the duel until I saw Seth and Raina when Seth died. I was like, yeah, no, she can't go through with this.
Oh!
Oh.
Yeah, that surprised me.
There's literally a different ending until about 10 minutes ago.
Wild.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's mad.
Games!
Love that. That's the beauty of Dungeons and Dragons. Or actual play, I guess. So, Raina, what do you think you have been up to in the meantime?
I think at least to start with, Raina is at a bit of a loss for what to do because she has been doing this one thing for so long and that one thing has ended. And now she's in a position where all of the things that she used to do are like still there, but just not for her necessarily.
Yeah.
But also, she still has some unanswered questions, particularly around the flute and where it came from and why it was important. and what did her, I think it was grandmother we figured out in the end, what did her grandmother, who she never knew, had anything to do with it. So I think she's going to do some little excursions. Maybe she gets a little crew together of her own. And she's not a pirate, because pirates are evil
yes.
in Raina's eyes. But it maybe gets together a little crew of adventurers and anyone else who wants to come to man the ship and sails around. Just trying to discover and learning from Morgan and being a little bit more academic about it, and learning from Toz and being a little bit more resolute about what she's going to do next and steps that she can take, and is going to actively go and search for those answers rather than just waiting for them to come to her.
Yeah. I think you're sort of a bit like of a kind of Ancestry.com type voyage.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what it is.
You've got the coin now to just have adventurers for hire, and you can really be sort of selective. And it's no tall girls, but you definitely find comfort in the familiarity of adventuring and of searching. And one of the people on your crew is a magical archaeologist.
Yes. Oh. Can I have gone and got Flot and Jet and they're on the crew, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. And the crew is all just very good at being discreet and keeping secrets and, that kind of thing.
Can I suggest a name for the archaeologist?
Yes.
Clara Loft.
Oh,
and she's Raina's girlfriend.
Yeah, so you are getting into the swing of adventuring and exploring and searching for answers. At some point you are back on land, restocking, and a little street urchin runs up to you.
Is it the well kid?
Raina looks around for wells.
Chloe and I.
No wells in sight. This is not the same child.
Thank God.
If you don't know that reference, then give us £3 on the Patreon and binge listen to the side quests.
Listen to our side quests.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little urchin runs up to you with some kind of letter in her hand, and she's like, "You're Raina Riftwood, aren't you?"
Yeah, that's me. Who's asking?
Oh, I've been instructed to give you this invitation.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll just...
Could I have some coin?
Oh, I am already giving the handout before she even asks.
Oh, thank you. Off she scampers. You see, it is an invitation to Captain Sterling's 90th birthday.
Oh, that's so cute.
Which is in about 2 weeks' time at the favoured pub of your old crew. So you make it there, and when you arrive, you see a lot of familiar faces. And turns out that since your conversation with him all those months ago, Captain Sterling's son has been working hard to track down the sailors that his father travelled with. So it's you and a bunch of old cats drinking and carousing. And before, people might have kind of stared at you and wondered what you were doing in the company of all these older folks, but people know better now. People know who you are and they understand the context of why you might be there.
Also, that's ageism. Quite rude.
Also, that's ageism. Some of my best friends... Oh, that's not true. I guess it's true. Can my granddad be my best friend?
Young people can hang out with old people. It's absolutely fine.
Yeah, some of my best friends are 90. Raina, what's your kind of mood as you're reunited with some old colleagues and friends?
I think it's a little bit awkward to start with because Raina doesn't really know where she stands, and she feels a bit downcast as they begin talking with each other, because I imagine that her old friends and her old crew are all very excited to tell her all of the things that they've been up to, and she feels a bit sad. I think it's even less that she wasn't there, and it's more just that she doesn't really have the same depth of stories to tell. But as they continue to tell those stories, and I think she at one point almost maybe starts writing them down and starts thinking, hey, maybe we could make something of this, and cataloguing these stories, and maybe we're going to turn them into little songs. later down the line, and I think she gets a little bit more excited and more invested in the stories as time goes on, until she's trying and maybe failing to, as she's like had a few drinks, to get them all dancing. And maybe then like some of them are a bit dancing in the chairs, and she's doing her classic
Lovely.
riling up the pub and trying to get everyone singing.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think towards the end of the night, one of the old cats is a guy called Roger, who was younger than you, and you didn't really interact with him much, but you remember that he was very, very quiet, and he was always sketching in the corner. Started off with little stick figures, but he had a real flair for it.
You did little animations by flicking the...
Yeah, little flip books and stuff. At the end of the night, he comes over to you and he says, "Please forgive me if this is too much, but I wanted you to have this." And he gives you an old sketchbook, a very old sketchbook. I was looking through the attic recently and I came across a big treasure trove of all of the sketchbooks I had when I was younger, and, well, I thought that you might enjoy them.
Thank you. Roger, that's really kind of you. I will treasure these, absolutely. You're really good at that, you know.
Oh, thank you. I don't mean to be tooting my own horn here, but I think I only got better as time went on. And I'm sure you will see that as well in some of these.
Well, thank you. Can I give you a hug?
Yeah.
I give him a hug, maybe slightly too tight.
You give him a gentle hug. Oh, when you flick through the sketchbook later, you can see that it starts off from when you think you were around 15, 16, and there's sketches of the crew, there's sketches of you and Seth, and then there's some from after you've gone as well, and you get a bit of an insight into what happened in the ship in your absence, and some mementos, I guess.
That's very sweet.
Is there anything else you would like to do?
I don't think so, no. Perhaps you leave it there.
Okay, cool. Delphi, what do you think that you're doing with your time, say a month after the events of the Time Vortex?
I think she's gotten a prosthetic arm for the one that she lost while it grows back, but it takes like years to grow back an arm.
Yeah.
So a prosthetic for the meanwhile. And I think she's in a very strange position as being probably the most well-travelled Growfolk alive.
Ever, yeah.
In this position of not being charismatic. So like, I think the typical thing would be becoming like an ambassador. But she's not charismatic, so she would be awful at that. But I think she becomes a guide for a lot of people who are leaving.
Yeah.
Who are looking to be ambassadors, looking to go out. And she's like, well, I can help you. I know how to get across the places and do these various things. I can help you with that.
Teach you about food.
Yeah. And I think she tries to work a lot with the Warforged, the Forgeborn.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's like, well, you are all welcome to come here, and depending on how that goes, it might be as much as genuinely guiding them back to the forest or helping ambassadors go out, as much as possible trying to help them, as well as just trying to build a presence outside that is supportive and about growth.
Yeah.
Improving the situations of a lot of people outside of the forest. As she looks at them and goes, wow, this is real messed up. I don't know how you live like this.
Yeah. As you're helping the Forgeborn integrate into society, I think that they are very well received because they're so different, but also you have a common understanding, and they're very willing to learn and excited to sort of be able to take part in society in a way that they have been denied before.
It's also like the only other species that's as long-lived as Growfolk, so it's the first time they can be like, oh, you can learn in the same way that we do. You're not rushing to do everything in the way that other people are.
Yeah, absolutely. Since you've come back, the crystal doesn't work in the way that it used to. It's served its purpose, and you don't get any kind of cryptic messages from the Delphi anymore. But since your interaction with the Time Vortex, you've definitely been looking up at the stars more, and you found that there's, not in the sort of time magic way, but there is a certain kind of vitality and power that you can draw from them, especially when you are both physically and verbally guiding people and teaching people in Kalrati. You find you subconsciously know and understand the position of the stars, even though you're under tree cover, and so you can't necessarily always see the full night sky. And when you are leading expeditions out to different cities, you find that you are able to use the stars to guide you, and you have no need for a map anymore. You kind of always know where you are relative to the celestial bodies. I feel like essentially a little bit Circle of Stars Druid flavoured is the feeling that I'm getting, but very low level.
Yeah.
Definitely not Warlock.
I think they do have that tendency, though, of like when they look at things, they still think of it a little bit like they used to, of the opening and the unlocking, and like it still sticks in the back of their brain of like they'll close their door and they instinctively think about it in that way.
Yeah. The knowledge doesn't leave you, it's just the presence does.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd like to explore for Delphi?
No, I think they try to keep in touch, but I think for them it becomes, if anyone has watched Freerun, it's that very much thing of they aim to keep in touch, but keeping in touch with them means 10 years later they go, oh yeah, this person, I should go see them. And then they do that until they realise that they're gone.
Oh, yeah.
Delphi.
Oh.
I mean, that's just kind of life, isn't it? But just different timescales.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say I keep in contact with people like once every 10 years with my normal human lifespan because I'm bad at keeping in contact with people.
Yeah.
But yeah. Morgan, what do you think you have been
Well,
up to? Things are very different for you now.
yeah, Morgan smells an opportunity.
She's reversing the time on the waterfront, obviously.
Yeah.
Morgan's got some opportunities here. And,
Yes.
like, Kalacta was fine, but, like, there's a new boss in town. This has got to have a name.
Morgan names the time god.
I guess you can Oh, no, wait! Because we talked about it in the latest table talk.
Oh, yeah, we did a little bit.
About the different names for the gods, the god sprite things. Well, so this is I suppose, the formal title. Like the Delphi is the unending bridge to light. This god is the stars who guide the night. But in terms of a personified name, that's kind of up to you. Because you're, like, probably the primary ambassador.
Morgan is time Jesus.
Morgan is time Jesus.
Morgan is not time Jesus.
It's not quite the same.
But Morgan's going to go to their sibling Diane and be like, hey...
Yeah. Hey, oh my gosh, yay. Okay, you're alive, good.
Do you want to get in on this? And, like, explains everything.
We truly ruined two people's faiths.
But, like, someone's got to be setting things up, right? This Kalacta stuff is so old school. And sure, time wizardry is really great, but I've basically mastered that now. Like, I can cast Time Stop, which is my 9th level spell now.
Nice.
Obviously, I've got to keep publishing, but clearly somebody needs to make sure that the transition goes pretty well. So there's going to be some mostly not particularly competent cleric-y direction from Morgan. I did not think this was going to happen an hour ago, but now I'm like, yeah, okay. We're being a cleric now.
The power of games.
Hilarious.
If we ever do any one-shots or anything future with these characters, we're going to have some cleric levels in there.
Yeah. There is something kind of different about the way that this god has been instated. It's kind of unprecedented, right? There have been gods, and there have been godlike beings, there have been the children of gods. This is sort of entirely new, and when you are kind of instating this new religion, is it the Morgan show, or are you trying to get as many people around you to help with the setting up of and assembling of the religion?
I'm imagining very little actual useful organisation from Morgan. I think she does get Diane in relatively early. Morgan is like trying to explain the new equations that govern time, and she's writing pamphlets with the mathematics in as if this will convince people to worship the new god, and like distributing this, and no one understands it. I don't know how many people are actually gonna join up because she's coming at it from a very academic angle.
I think that maybe shortly after this is started, Diane very gently and tactfully, well, maybe not tactfully, they are an Aldridge, but they very gently take the reins in terms of the, like, organisation and trying to understand how to make it a kind of a bit more of a broad appeal. They are also similarly, like, not super charismatic and not particularly built for, like, leading, but they do have a good understanding of how the cleric circles run and have very strong opinions on what works and what should be changed, and so start to kind of organise the religion in a slightly more favourable way and encourage you to put those maths to the best possible audience and publish instead.
It's like Morgan wants to be known in future as the one who was the first one to understand and the one who actually got to spread the good word first. This is a place in history because whenever anyone in the future is talking about the gods, and yes, this god who was discovered by Morgan Serenity, she isn't trying to maximize the number of people who worship the god because she thinks that that's like even beneficial. It's so much as like, people are wrong. They're still worshipping Collector. That is incorrect.
Yeah.
You need to update the models you're working with. This is correct now.
Yes. Yeah, and I would say that the knowledge goes down much better in the academic world than it does in the non-academic spaces, because people really like tradition and people like to hold on to things even if they don't necessarily have power anymore.
Yeah, I don't expect the Collector temples are going to go away anytime soon.
Exactly. But you're definitely making a name for yourself just because you are in a everyday pop understanding, you're like one of the people that saved time, and in the academic community you're obviously, it's a bit more specific than that you have discovered more comprehensively how time works and also how time has changed. Like, time is now materially and measurably working differently to how it was previously. Collector had a way of doing things and that way has now altered. And yeah, you publish, you expect to get lots of awards. There's the Navrosh Peace Prize, but of course you don't get that for political reasons. And you get a lot of accolades and prestige and your name in important places and honorary doctorates and requests for like guest lectures and that kind of thing. You can sort of work anywhere and you never have to worry about money again, you think.
An academic's dream.
Yeah, and I guess that's how it goes for a little while, but after the sort of initial rush of like, I am going to go down in history, the feeling of accomplishment inevitably just sort of fades, and you feel a sense like you've done it, and you have the money and the prestige now, but there are still some people who are never going to accept you, your family, in spite of the fact that you now have made a name for yourself. They ask you for money in private.
Oh, of course they do.
Of course they do, but they're pretty indifferent to your talents in public. And so I guess the question remains of, you have that vision of your alternate future still sitting in the back of your mind. Do you go back and reverse time on the Antibro waterfront, or do you leave it flooded as it is?
I think that once I think I've got the way to do it, I think I'm gonna... Am I making Morgan too woke by making it go and like ask people's permission? Would she actually do that?
Am I making Morgan too woke is not a sentence I expected to hear.
If she's figured this reversal out, it's going to be more like you need to do it in a little bit at a time instead of all at once.
Yeah.
So it's more like incremental testing of like, okay, this bit's a bit better.
Is she prepared to go back to Antibra that frequently in her otherwise quite busy schedule?
I mean, Antibra's a good place to do the testing. And
very true.
I guess it's kind of like she'll do a bit of work and get this bit section done, and then word gets around and someone's like, hey, this particular part's really bad and it's going to collapse soon. Can we fix just this bit for the next test? And like, okay, yeah, I'll do that for the next test. And then like over the years, it kind of shores a lot of bits up, not reversing everything, but where it's specifically needed, people are going to come up and ask, hey, can you come do this?
Yeah.
She doesn't need a big showy-offy do it all at once thing. It also is a little bit like, what if I mess it up? But a little bit at a time.
Yeah. And I think you notice you've always been kind of seen particularly by the people of Antibra as a bit of a freak. And people have always had their own individual inclinations towards that. You know, some people, like the shopkeeper, didn't care and was very happy to be friends with you. Other people have obviously been less polite. But you notice that there are some people who definitely start to treat you with a little more tolerance than they would have otherwise. But I think you get cannier to the difference between the people who are being nice to you because they think that you deserve it versus being nice to you because they want something from you.
Okay.
With all of that, I think
That's it!
concludes
Yay!
We did it!
Mini Aces season 1.
my
We
gosh!
did it.
I don't have a good sentence to...
You need to tell us what our things were.
You need to tell us the cards!
Yeah.
Okay, let me get up the document so I don't get it wrong.
Can we guess?
Yes! Yeah, let's go one by one.
I say this with no tarot knowledge.
It's
Yeah.
it's a deck of many things as well, so it's even worse.
I have no knowledge of that either.
Yeah.
So, in a small, cosy cottage nestled on the outskirts of a forest, a greyish tabaxi sits with a steaming mug of tea and begins doing a series of card pulls. First, he draws the knight, then the comet, and do you have any guesses for which deck of many things might be your future one? I think yours is the hardest to guess for me personally.
No, I have no idea.
The third and final card he pulls is the gem.
I'm rich.
Is that like riches?
He goes to do a second set of cards. He draws the donjon, then the moon, and Chloe, do you have any guesses as to what your future card might be?
I was so keen to guess, and I just genuinely don't know any of the cards. I'm gonna have to say
Incredible.
no. I don't have any idea.
He draws the balance card.
This makes a lot of sense, I feel. Didn't see that coming.
This is for Chloe and Chloe only, and I'm going to talk more about it in the talk back, but Tohsya's pass card being the same as Balnor from NADPOD is like, I'm going insane about this.
Yes. Yes.
Chicken.
The third set of cards that is drawn, the first card is the sun, the second card is the Eiriol. Eiriol, any guesses as to Delphi's third card?
I'm gonna guess it's the star.
It's not. It's the skull.
Oh.
That's, yeah, we're gonna have to talk about this.
We'll do it in a talk
yeah.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And finally, he shuffles and draws again. First drawing the Eiriol, and then second the ruin card. And then, Katie, any guesses as to what your card would be?
I'm not sure, really. Fates?
That is not correct. He draws the jester.
Ooh.
Well, it's just a little guy.
She's just a little guy. And he smiles to himself and gets up to make another pot of tea.
Deck of Many Aces is Anne Chisholm, Eiriol Evans, Ellie Webster, Katie McLeod, and me, Chloe Elliott. You can keep up to date on our website at deckofmanyaces.com or find us on social media at Deck of Many Aces. Big thanks to our patrons Nate Scott Jones, Ouroboros, EK Green, Space Ben, Callum D, Ibad, KP, Steph Burke-Stelia, and Josh. You can join that legendary list at patreon.com/Deck of Many Aces. And you can join our Discord for free. Just look for the link in the episode description. This campaign may have reached its finale, but Deck of Many Aces is far from over. We'll be taking a hiatus to prep for the next campaign, but in the meantime, we have a couple of one-shots for you to enjoy, plus we'll be recording a Q&A episode. So if you have any questions for the cast or for Ellie, make sure you join the Discord so you can let us know. If you enjoyed the soundtrack to this podcast, it's all composed by me, and you can find it on music streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. Plus, you can find us in a bunch of other places at the moment. You can watch me in the Heartforged Siege on the transmissions on Saturday evenings at 8 PM BST for the next few weeks. Plus, as always, you can listen to me and Am on RWD playing Scum and Villainy. You can listen to my voice as Quinn and Cynthia in Caduceus, spelt C4DAC3U5, and as Edith in Legend of the Bones. And if you're interested in what Ellie's up to, go to elliewebster.co.uk or sign up to their mailing list. And that's it from me. Have a nice week. Bye!